What's up YouTube, Awesome Yuga here, and today I'm here with a regional recap report, which I got first place in. It's probably in the title as well, but I went to a regional, went undefeated, only lost 2 games in the entire tournament, and I'm going to show you the list that I was playing. I'll open these packs up in a second, which I won at the tournament. I got this amazing deck box, which I really wanted, because I love this metallic red color. I absolutely love this deck box. I'm really glad I won that, and of course I won this gorgeous mat, the Shadol Regional 2015 mat, which has wind on it right there, construct, and Wendigo I believe is here, the dolphin. I'm not sure how that's called, but I believe it's Wendigo or something. Gorgeous looking mat. I love the purple with the blue. I was playing Nekroz, of course, and I know that I did a deck profile on this recently, but I made quite a few changes actually. One of the things I did was cutting the deck down to 40 cards, which I absolutely loved getting done. So yeah, I'll show the deck in a second. I'll be going through the cards a bit quicker this time, because if you want any explanations on the cards themselves or what they do, you can watch the previous Nekroz video up on this channel. But some of the changes I will address, of course. So for the Secret Forces, it's actually cool that we got this instead of Secrets of Eternity, because I really just like that set. This is actually kind of a cool set, so of course I have everything that's in here, but still that chance of pulling a brown egg is kind of awesome. And a Manju, Kanahawk. Actually, wouldn't mind pulling Epiloi or Epilio, the Ulti Epilio, for my Spiritual Beast deck, because I only have 2 of those, so wouldn't mind getting a 3rd one. When? Actually got 7 packs in total. Usually you get like 1 pack for every $3 you pay to attend regional, I think. The dolphin. But the organizer kind of randomized how we got out of packs. So people who were low in the card got a bit less packs, and people on the high end got a bit more packs on the Mystic. So yeah, I'm not going to complain about that, but I'm not sure if that is how Konami wanted it to see. Abs Dweller, cool. And the last secret rare it's a Nekroz card. Of course it's Caster. The Nekroz card is Caster, duh. So alright, that was it for the packs. Now for the deck. So the main deck, obviously, triple Briannac. Oh, I want to address something real quick. Now I made this main deck to be the best it could be, in my opinion. Having not just the best mirror match, but just the best game 1 in general against everything, pretty much. I addressed it from a certain point of view that Nekroz is just better than pretty much every other deck, even Clifford, even in game 1, because it's just a better deck. So I could have and I built my deck to just have the greatest chance of winning every game 1, as well as post-siding, and I actually won every game 1. I didn't lose any game 2s or any game 1s. The only 2 games I lost was in game 2. Game 1 this deck worked brilliantly, in my opinion. So triple Brio, triple Unicorn, triple Felg is all really standard. Then I went with 1 Trish, 1 Gungnir, which actually a pretty good card. 1 Cutters, and then 1 Clauseless. You don't need the second one. A friend of mine called it lazy running the second one, which I kind of agree with. It's easier to run 2. It's better to run 1. You can recycle it with the Unicorn. You can Rotavore it, which I added in this deck, which you'll see later on. So the most important thing you can see in the Ritual Beast lineup is that I caught Decisive Armor, which is a terrible, terrible card. I mean, there are situations in which you would want to have Ally of Justice for Nekroz of Decisive Armor. Those situations just doesn't match up to the situations in which you don't want to draw him. And I drew him all the freaking time, so I just decided to cut him, and it worked wonders for me. So I believe now we have 12 Ritual monsters. Then of course your triple Manju, triple Senju. It's all really standard. And then I went with the 2 Shurit, 3 Steel Clocks, and adding in the Rhoda really helped with the ratio of just the 2 Shurit. Card is amazing, don't get me wrong. I still went to play with the Dance Princess. Was definitely a card I considered cutting as well, because I wanted to get this deck to 40 cards. But Dance Princess is pretty good against some rogue matchups, making your opponent preemptively flip the emptiness. And in the later game, it has some good synergy with Valkyros, or just using like when she's in the grave, cycle for or mirror for Unicorn, because he is a level 4. When you want to tribute her from your hand to bring back a Unicorn, you can cycle tributing her, and then you can add back one of your banished Brios, for example, which is kind of good. Actually came up. So the Dance Princess is pretty good. And if you fear the Beast, she helps with the Beast. You can just normal summon her, and then you can still activate your spells, because the Beast can negate the spells. And then I tacked in the 1 Evac Veiler. So I cut the Max Cs, which were terrible when I began to test a bit harder and a bit more. The Max Cs were absolutely terrible. Evac Veiler is decent against some of the Roker matchups. It's good against the mirror matchup. Now, why I only played 1 is because I never want to draw the Evac Veiler. You don't want to draw it because, like I said, in the against the rogue matchups, this is a fair card for the rogue matchups. Like I send you, this card is fair. You're not playing the most fair deck right now. You're playing the best deck. So you don't want to play too many fair cards and drawing into those fair cards, because then you're on like a level playing field with the more fair decks, which is something you don't want to do. Now, however, in the mirror match, stacking her with Level Chain and drawing into her with Valkyros, the Level Chain Falk play, is incredible. So 1 Veiler is absolutely amazing. And I like I said, I don't feel you want to run 2, because you don't want to just draw it. It's terrible against Clifford. I didn't draw into Veiler all day instead of my 2 game 1s against Clifford. Both the game 1s I played against Clifford, I hard drew the Evac Veiler in my first 5 cards, which is I love the irony that Yu-Gi-Oh has in that way. But like I said, I did use the Valkyros play for her, and then she's just really good. Which actually the only reason why I played her to begin with. But of course, even at 1, you're going to have those games. You're going to hard draw. The only problem I had with that was that it was against both the Clifford matches I played. Which I said I still won game 1, but it's not funny. That's it for the monsters. And the spells, of course, just 2, 2, and 2. There's no changes there. Shouldn't run anything different. Triple Prep, no changes there. And then, like I said, I added in Veroda. This is so clutch, this card. Especially in the game 1, just a little bit of consistency. I wouldn't run 3 of this. You might want to go with 2, but I wanted to keep this deck at 40 cards, which is better. I believe it's better to run just the 1 reinforcement of the RD for 40 than the triple reinforcement of the RD, 2 reinforcements of the RD and go to 41. Because then you do have a higher consistency of getting to your level 4 lower warrior monsters, but that's something I didn't really want to do. I wanted to max out on the consistency of getting to Senju, Brio, and Manju. So the 1 Rhoda is better in that regard, because now you do have a higher percentage of getting to your level 4 lower warrior monsters, as well as having the highest percentage of getting to Manju, Senju, Brio. Then 2 MST, I cut the 3rd one. From the main deck, of course, that is inside deck. Once again, this makes sure game 1 against Nekroz a lot worse, and the percentage you actually have of in your first 6 cards, because I always try to go second, of having double MST compared to triple MSTs, those percentages aren't that much different. There was a risk I was willing to take to lose the Floodgates game 1, which I actually didn't do, because I have some other cards that play around Floodgates as well. So the 2 MST, because percentage-wise you're not going to draw into an MST out of your first 6 cards. That's just, you know, there are more other cards you can draw than MST. So 2 versus 3 was mainly because you want to have the MST in your first hand. But then again, you don't always want to have the MST in your first hand if you're playing against something that doesn't play any Floodgates or doesn't have the Floodgates. And of course, if your opponent is playing like Clifford, they're not always going to have the Floodgates. So, and if they do, and if you don't have the MST and you don't have any of your other ways to play around those Floodgates, alright, yeah, then you lose game 1. But that's fine. That was definitely a risk I was willing to take to increase this deck for game 1 in general. Then Raigeki, Dark Hole, Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse. These are all the Jinlock outs, and these, like I said, also help with like a Vanities lock. If your opponent, especially against Clifford, for example, if they have the Emptiness with a sacrificed monster, Dark Hole, sacrifice goes to the grave. You can actually trish them now because they are they probably set everything, but they're going to search the card for sacrifice. And you can just trish them after that, and you shut off the Emptiness because sacrifice went to the grave, so the Emptiness goes to the grave as well. Same counts for Raigeki. Book of Moon helps you with just walking over any Clifford monster with or just, once again, you can just shut it off. If you Book of Moon, a Clifford monster, and Book of Eclipse of course as well, with a sacrifice on it, sacrifice goes to the grave and the Emptiness goes to the grave. Now of course you do have to activate like a Kaleidoscope or something first to make them flip the Emptiness, but Emptiness was a pretty easy card to play around. And Skill Drain, Skill Drain is Skill Drain, you know. You do have some bigger cards to help you play against Skill Drain. And then again, like I said, you do have the MST. But dropping a Valk under a Skill Drain isn't that bad, because Valk is 2900, and a lot of their cards, especially without the sacrifice, are going to have trouble getting over the Valk. So yeah, you have some more outs against like cards like Skill Drain and Emptiness, besides some MSTs. And then those were the spells. Final 2 cards were 2 Mind Crushes. These were absolutely incredible. I love Mind Crush. I went from putting 3 in the side to 1 side, 2 in the main deck, and this did absolute wonders. Mind Crush is so good in a mirror match. It's pretty much good against any rogue, because every deck searches. The knowledge this deck gives you. In my final round, I went against a Tellarknight player. Now he went. He let me go first, of course, which is good on his part. Not so good for me. But I drew in the Mind Crush. I set the Mind Crush. He went the net, search for Altar. So now he has 6 cards in his hand still. Right on that moment, I went to go Mind Crush. Now, normally this isn't something you want to do, but I wanted to get knowledge because I know he's going to set some cards. Now he actually ended up having to ditch the 1 Altair, which he said. He had Emptiness, Stellanova Alva, Dimensional Prison, Call of the Haunted, and a Mind Crush in his hand. So 5 spells and traps, which he all set. Of course, he set the Mind Crush as well, because he can Stellanova Alva. The first thing I do, getting rid of the Nep, drawing a card, making his Mind Crush live. But the knowledge that gave me, that I knew exactly what traps were down there and what I wanted to bait out first to play around something else. It's just stupid. Mind Crush is way too good if you know how to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! Then Mind Crush is absolutely ridiculous. Helped me, absolutely did wonders for me. Of course, in a mirror match, it's really good, and even if you're just going to go for attack and Mind Crush the Valk, so you can just push for game, because this deck can do damage so easily. I suggest everyone to run my main Mind Crush in the main deck. That's it for the main deck. The extra deck, I still ran with these two because that's just pimping and balling and shit. Of course, you should go with one of the level 12s because 2 actually never comes up. And then run a Leo, especially if you run the Phaler because Phaler Trish is Leo. So one of these should be a Leo. Star Eater, and like I said, then you should have the Leo. The level 10 Synchro, you know, the card that can be targeted in main phase 2. The 2 Heralds of Arclight. One of Awful Chain, which is definitely the card I used most in the extra deck. Because the Emerald only came up once, I believe. Axiton, used it against Clifford. Diamond Direwolf, that's the second most used card. Diamond Direwolf is just so good for clearing your own board, so you can use your spells in grave again. It's a great card. It allows for some really good plays. Sunlord Arc, Cowboy. Sunlord Arc's actually pretty good in mirror match if you have your emptiness, but didn't come up. Cowboy. I thought I needed to make him 1, but actually already had games. So I believe he never came up. Castell never came up. Never came up. Never came up because I'm using the Mind Crush, so I don't need to banish stuff from the grave. And Ragnar Zero never came up. Tokens never came up. Let's see, then for the side deck I made a couple of small changes in here. I played the 2 Denko Seka in the side deck because Denko Rekka is just too good going second. 6 cards against those rogue decks, setting 5, summon Denko Seka, it's too good. I don't know exactly, oh yeah, I made some changes because the Mind Crushes went to the main deck, so I had some room for this as well. The 2 Fire, 2 Ice Hand. I actually cited these in quite a bit. I never saw any of these 4 cards, which is kind of interesting if you just look at the percentage of times you should have 1 of 4 cards if you're running 4 of the same card in your deck. Let's say these are 4 of the same card. So, but I actually never drew them, which is interesting. But like I said, it wasn't really problematic because I still won. But yeah, it's it's interesting. The Jhin, because I want people to side out the Jhin in the mirror match because. I explained this really good in my previous video. Pretty much a Nekroz mirror match without the Jhin is a lot more skillful, and I'm confident in winning the mirror match that way. So I always offer my opponent to side out the Jhin. I can show my Jhin because it's already in the side deck. I don't main it game 1 because it makes sure game 1's a lot worse. It's a card you can draw against a lot of matchups, which is terrible. It can mentally try and force you to go for the Jhin lock first turn, even if you don't know what you're playing against, because you're assuming you're going to play against Nekroz since that's the most represented deck. It just forces some plays that you shouldn't be doing, so I'm definitely never going to main the Jhin. Maybe if at some point you have to main the Jhin, like for national seasons, if Nekroz didn't get hit at all, you know, okay, right, now everything is going to be Nekroz. Then I might do it in the main deck. But for right now, I'm just having it in the side deck to ask people, alright, do you want to side out the Jhin? I'll show them my Jhin that's already in the side deck. And now game 2 and 3, if it gets that far, you have a more skillful game. The 3rd MST, Double Twister. I cut a 1 Twister because I went with the Denko Sekas. 2 Shared Brides. It's a decent card, but I still like Mind Crush better. 3rd Mind Crush, and then the Double Emptiness. So that's it for the deck. In the comment section down below, let me know what you think of Nekroz right now, because the ban list is coming up. What do you think they will hit, if anything? And thank you guys for watching. I love the deck box. It's pretty much the only thing I want from this regional. I already had my invite, so I could just pass that on, which of course is cool for the other people at the regional that didn't have their invite yet. I had a great time at the regional playing there. Was fun, and yeah, once again, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think is going to get hit, if anything, out of this deck. I personally think they're only going to hit like either Prep and or Manju and or Senju. I don't think they're going to hit any of these blue cards yet, because they're just too new. They're just going to hurt some of the older ritual support. But that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so yeah, that's it for now. See you guys next time, and bye!